Hi guys, welcome back. It's UK here with another gaming update. It's been about 3.5 months since I did the last one, so so much for trying to get these back to being monthly. So what's happened for me in the last 3 months? For roleplay purposes, it's still been an awful lot of Pathfinder and Pathfinder Society. That's going really well for us. We're slowly increasing the number of people we get for PFS. Our regular games on Sundays, we haven't really played much Rise of the Rune Lords for a while. The guy that's running it keeps being summoned away by work and sent to far and distant countries. So, you know, it seems that our attempts to play that particular campaign are somewhat cursed. My campaign that I've been running, the War of the Burning Sky, is soon coming to an end. I reckon another month and we'll be done on that. And I'll be honest, I won't be sad to see it go. I wasn't overly keen on it in the first place, but I wanted to do something different, give the players a chance to, you know, play some characters and play sort of like a power level that we don't normally do. As it's gone along, I kind of felt that the story's just meh. Yes, meh is going to be an official word from now on. Yeah, the story of it just... I think there's something wrong when you have to start inventing things for campaigns rather than just using what you've got. And it really is one of those sort of campaigns where the high level stuff just doesn't work very well. It's not balanced particularly well against characters of that level, and they're quite frankly breezing through every single fight despite my efforts. I've had one decent fight, and that's simply because I refused to use the thing that they used, the monster that they used at the end of one particular chapter, and I replaced it with something else which was far more appropriate. But I'll do a proper sort of like vid on my run through that once that campaign's come to a halt. We have been running, or rather I've been running some PFS on alternate Monday nights. We used to do Dark Heresy on the 40k games, if some of you remember. That got put on hold for a little bit while the GM wrote up some more of his campaign, and I managed to convince him to play some PFS, and he's kind of, I think, you know, getting into it a little bit. But that's come to an end now, and starting with a fortnight, well, week and a half's time now, we go back to playing Dark Heresy. I'm not really looking forward to it. If you've seen some of my other vids in the past where I've spoken about his games, he's a good GM, but quite frankly, his games are a bit of hard work. They're fun, but they are hard work. Other than that, we are about to start the 2015 Warhammer 40k League. We had a fantasy one over the summer, at the end of last year. Unfortunately, the guy that organised it, due to other concerns, couldn't sort of like play in it as often as much, or and he basically set up something that they'd done in the local games workshop, which is like a tile-based system using the old Mighty Empires, I think it was called, tile set, and a series of rules based on that. The problem is, I find when you leave people to make set their own games up, some people will just bang games out one after the other, and they win. Which is essentially what happened. We ended up with like 2, possibly 3 possible contenders, and the guy that we all thought was going to win did. You know, whereas what I do is set things up and go, right, you play everybody once, and these are the weeks you're playing, and we'll adjust that based on work, real life commitments, and so on. Everybody plays everyone, they know when they're playing, and I find works a lot better. So I'm looking forward to this. I've not been too involved in 40k for a while. The release of the new edition sort of burnt me out on it, and I got fairly fed up of, well, it's costs of things. You know, we all know, or those of us that have played GW stuff are well aware of the costs involved, and quite frankly, I like to collect the books. I like to have all the army books, but at 30 quid a pop, it's just not doable. So I've sold a few of them and I've just focused on what I have done. I have decided, however, to spend this year getting into a new army. Unfortunately, I'm out of work now, and so money is exceedingly tight. But I've decided I'm going to do a Chaos Marine army and spend this coming year building, painting, and slowly building it up ready for next year. On the wargaming front, Star Trek Attack Wing is still going really, really well. We've got a really good number of players for that every month for our events. The only problem we had is we got a really good venue that didn't actually want any money for us. It was an ex-servicemen's club. But I hate to say this, but I think they've made an excuse to get rid of us now because in hindsight and looking back, I just think people weren't, we were giving them like 20 quid a night sort of thing. But I think they wanted or expected people to be spending a lot more on drinks to make it really worth their while, and we weren't. But we've got a new venue, the same place, a pub in town that is quite happy to let us play there one Saturday a month. But again, people are going to have to, this time really buy drinks and things. But that's going really well. People are still really psyched for it. And I'm still just over the moon that we've kind of proved that it must be a much better game than X-Wing, because we ended up with 6, maybe 7 people playing that at one point, and we could effectively get up to 3 times that on players for Attack Wing. I think we've got nearly 18 people on our Facebook page for it. Card games wise, Magic is still unfortunately dominant. But our local shop has now been set up for Friday Night Magic, so I'm hoping that will kind of suck some of the energy of Magic away from our regular Sunday shop openings, and people will actually play something else. The other thing we're going to is there's 4 of us that have bought into the new 40k Conquest LCG for Fantasy Flight, which I think is good. It's similar to the old one that I think it's called Sabretooth Games put out. 8, 9 years ago, but a lot better. The only problem I've got is that you need at least 2, if not 3 of the starters to actually make it playable, and the other guys have one of them's bought 2 starters, the other 2 have bought 3, and I just can't compete with any of them because I've only can afford 1 starter, and you need 2 or 3 of each of the cards that are in there. So, but hopefully I can remedy that at some point. But it is a really good game. If you haven't seen that, check out the vids for it. FFG have put one out just prior to its release on YouTube on how it plays, and it's really good actually. I'm quite impressed by the mechanics, considering really how pants Warhammer Invasion, the fantasy version, was. But we'll see. That's really where I'm up to at the moment. It's been fairly busy, to be honest. We've done a lot of PFS. That has really taken off over the last, I'd say, 6 months. And we've got an event coming up fairly locally, which is a 3XP day for that. I don't know I'm going to be able to go to more than one day. But essentially, whatever you play, you get 3XP for it, which means you get a complete level for your character that you play. So I'm quite looking forward to that, and the monies for it, I believe, go to a charity of some description. But that's where I'm up to. I'm interested to see what you guys are doing, or have been doing. Anyway, it's fairly late now, so I'm going to get off to bed, and I will look forward to seeing your vids and any replies. Until next time, take care and good gaming.